learning English doesn't have to be boring or difficult. One of the best ways to improve your English is by listening to real, exciting stories. Why? Because when you follow a story, your brain naturally picks up vocabulary, grammar, and sentence structure without even trying. It feels easy, fun, and unforgettable. That's the power of storytelling. So if you're ready to learn English in the most enjoyable way, hit that like button, subscribe to SpeakEase, and turn on the bell so you never miss a new story. Today's adventure is set in the incredible city of Cairo, and let's just say, not everything was as it seemed. When Noah arrived in Cairo, he felt like he had stepped into a different time. The streets were full of life. Cars, buses, and tuk-tuks moved in every direction with barely a pause. The call to prayer echoed through the air. Tall palm trees waved in the wind. And in the distance, the golden tips of the pyramids peeked above the city haze. It was his first morning in Egypt, and Noah had one goal: to see the pyramids of Giza. He skipped breakfast, grabbed his bag, and headed out of his hotel with excitement buzzing in his chest. He had read online that taking a taxi to the pyramids was easy. He waved one down, showed the driver the destination, and soon they were on the road. About 30 minutes later, the car stopped at a wide street near a dusty entrance. Before Noah even stepped out, a man in a white shirt with a badge around his neck waved him over. "Official guide," the man said with a smile, pointing at the badge. "Very busy today. You need fast entry." Noah was surprised. He hadn't booked a tour, but the man looked confident. He spoke English clearly and explained that tourists could enter quicker and safer with a local guide. He even showed a laminated sheet with prices and tour options. It looked professional. So, Noah agreed. They walked together toward the entrance. The man talked the whole way, telling stories about the history of the pyramids, sharing facts about the pharaohs, and describing hidden secrets of ancient Egypt. It was entertaining and interesting. Noah was impressed. But something felt a little strange. Instead of going to the main gate, they turned down a small path. The guide explained it was a shortcut. They passed through a side entrance guarded by another man, who gave a quick nod. Noah paid for the ticket in cash as the guide told him to, and they kept walking. That's when things started to change. Suddenly, they were standing next to a camel. The guide smiled and said it was part of the tour. A camel ride around the pyramids. Noah hesitated, but the guide pushed gently and said it would be unforgettable. So, Noah climbed on. The ride was awkward. The camel moved slowly, and the guide now walked ahead, chatting with someone on his phone. Noah was no longer getting historical facts. After about 15 minutes, they stopped. "This is where the tour ends," the guide said. Noah was confused. They weren't near the pyramids. They were far on the side, where few tourists were around. Noah asked if they were going inside the pyramids or visiting the Sphinx. The guide suddenly looked annoyed. "Those cost more." "You didn't pay for that part," he said. Noah was shocked. He explained he thought he paid for a full tour, but the man just crossed his arms and said it was not his problem. He even demanded more money to take Noah back. It hit Noah all at once: this wasn't an official tour. There was no shortcut, no real badge, no professional service. He had been tricked. With no other choice, Noah paid a little extra, got off the camel, and walked back to the main road. He found the real entrance, bought a proper ticket, and joined a group tour. The real guide wore a uniform, had a clear ID from the tourism office, and led the group with kindness and patience. Even though he lost money and time, Noah still managed to enjoy the pyramids. They were massive, silent, and powerful. Standing beside them, he felt small but amazed. He took photos, asked questions, and tried to forget the stressful beginning of his day. That evening, Noah sat on the hotel roof with mint tea in his hand. The sun set behind the pyramids, turning the sky orange and gold. He shook his head and laughed at his mistake. It was a lesson he would never forget. And for you, this story wasn't just a lesson about travel, it was an English lesson. You picked up useful expressions like buzzing in his chest, waved one down, peeked above, turned down a small path, climbed on, awkward ride, demanded more money, and shook his head. You didn't study them, you lived them in this story. That's how real English sticks. So if this story helped you learn something new, like the video, subscribe to SpeakEase, and leave a comment. Tell us, have you ever been tricked while traveling? What happened? We'd love to hear your story. See you in the next one.